to Amazon and buy your copy of Trauma Bonded, a true story of navigating attachments forged in complex PTSD by me, Sarah Westbrook. That's become very helpful is as I've mastered this and practiced this for years. I mean, y'all, I learned about this system while I was in school. I really started putting it to practice when my son Brig was very, very small and was destroying stuff. And it was, I don't want to parent like my dad. I have to recognize that, okay, this is a true story, y'all. He painted a shit mural all over the bathroom wall again. You know what? My life is not ending. If I walk away, the shit will still be there in an hour when I'm ready to come back and clean it up without beating this child of mine who has no concept of how nasty that was. And so really you begin to, as you practice this, you begin to recognize that when your brain is saying this is life-threatening and you have to respond now, you can begin to recognize it rarely is life-threatening. Almost everything can wait until you are through that panic response. And so I don't remember what we were doing yesterday, and I got a little bit nervous and panicky. I think it was when we were leaving the Ed Sheeran. Yeah, it was. We were walking. So we were leaving the stadium and there was this huge line to go through the tunnel to get down to the lower parking lot. And I started to have a little bit of a panic attack because my left leg, part of the MS, I wasn't able to shift my weight as smoothly. And so I kept almost falling, and Hayden was walking with his arm around my waist and pulling me up, and people were impatient and pushing around me. And I was like having a panic attack because I didn't want to be embarrassed and fall over, right, in front of all these people. Like, can you imagine what would have happened if I had a pass out episode right there at that moment? It would have been entertaining, for sure. But it's not something that would have necessarily been helpful. And so I was feeling a little panicked, trying not to have a full-blown MS, fall down, embarrassing moment. Right. And I remember my hands started to tremble, and there was that part of my brain that was definitely in the fight or flight response. But then there was that little voice from my frontal cortex going, hey, look at your panic response showing up. That's not helpful. And then I was able to just go, nope, you're right, Sarah, that's not helpful. And I just took a couple of deep breaths and I was like, it's not a big deal if you move slower. These people do not know you. They can be like, we were behind the slowest lady on the planet. What the hell? And one of the interesting things is there were only maybe 10 people that were pushing past me in a dangerous way and being rude. Most everybody else was happily patient, recognizing that everybody's getting out of this. Most people out there were very respectful. Right. And then the one lady noticed me and she was like, whoa, why do people keep pushing around you? You don't look so good. And she cleared the way and was like, let this lady pass. And that was a little embarrassing, of course. But I very much appreciated being noticed for struggling to walk in that moment, which is just something that happens with my MS. Every now and at the end of the day, it's the end of the day. I'm tired. I'm hot. We just screamed and yelled and exerted a ton of energy for that concert. That's, of course, I always have a harder time in the evening when I'm in an active flare. So, of course, I was struggling at that point. That was expected. I just wasn't expecting that big of a crowd trying to get through that little tunnel to get out. And so, it was just a matter of being like, oh, Sarah, your panic's not helping. You're okay. And so while I was still having the racing heart and a little bit of the tremors, my brain was not stuck in, oh my God, you're going to fall over. People are going to trample you, whatever. It was just take some deep breaths. You're good. Hayden's got you. Mason's right there. Everything's fine. This is temporary.